city went quiet after the rival gang disappeared. That was how I knew it wasn't over. Silence doesn't mean safety when someone like Seraphine Kade is involved. It means consolidation. She didn't loosen her hold on my life once the threat was neutralized. She refined it. The guards rotated more often. My routes shortened. The spaces I occupied became intentional. I stopped asking where I was going. She noticed that. Seraphine always noticed when something in me shifted, even when I didn't say a word. She started appearing without reason, not to question me, not to instruct me, just there, standing by the window when I woke up too early, sitting across from me while I ate, saying nothing, watching me like she was memorizing something she couldn't afford to forget. At first, I told myself it was surveillance. Then I realized she wasn't looking for weakness. She was looking for change. The first crack came the night I couldn't sleep. A storm rolled in from the harbor, thunder shaking the glass. I curled into myself on the couch, embarrassed by how exposed I felt. She found me there, didn't comment, didn't touch. She simply removed her jacket and draped it over my shoulders like it was the most natural thing in the world. Her hand lingered for half a second too long. I held my breath. She stepped back immediately. "I won't cross lines you haven't chosen," she said quietly. That sentence stayed with me longer than any threat ever had. The next threat arrived dressed as civility. A legal consortium, clean, smiling, respectable, started asking questions about me. Not accusations, concerns. Sympathy disguised as leverage. When Seraphine read the report, her jaw tightened just enough for me to notice. "They're curious," she said. "Curiosity leads to entitlement." I asked what they wanted. She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "Access." "Not to information. To me." She moved me again. Higher, brighter, more visible. A penthouse with glass walls and no blind corners. I realized later it wasn't just strategy. She wanted to know how I felt being seen. I hated it. She watched me hate it. That night, she stood closer than usual while we looked out over the city. "You don't belong on display," she said, almost to herself. That was the first time she spoke about me, like I was something to protect, not just contain. The legal consortium made contact. Invitations, offers, polite conversations laced with suggestion. Seraphine let them get close. Too close. I asked her why she didn't shut it down. She met my eyes and said, "Because I need to know if you'd be tempted." That hurt more than I expected. I told her I wasn't something to be tested. She didn't apologize. But later that night, she canceled every meeting on her schedule and stayed in the penthouse instead. Said nothing, stayed anyway. Something shifted between us then. Not ownership, consideration. She started asking, not permission, never that but preference. Where I wanted to sit, which room felt safer, when silence was too heavy. Every small choice felt like a secret being shared, and every time I looked at her too long, she noticed. Every time, the consortium fell apart quietly, licenses revoked, careers stalled, smiles vanished. I found out after it was done. You didn't have to do that, I said. She replied, I did. Not because they were dangerous, because they were interested. One night, I caught her watching me with something unfamiliar in her expression. Not calculation, not control, recognition. I asked her what she was thinking. She hesitated. That was new. I don't like that you're changing the way I plan, she said. But I like that you're changing it. My chest tightened. Nothing touched. Nothing crossed. But the air between us felt charged, like something waiting for permission neither of us was ready to give. By the end of part 2, the truth settles slowly and uncomfortably. Seraphine Kade isn't just protecting me anymore. She's choosing me. And for someone like her, love doesn't arrive as softness. It arrives as restraint.